itself. I never thought of material as something you use to represent something else. The material was something in itself, and that applied to all materials. I can see the effect of the late 70s on me, looking for some more deeper emotional quality to the material.
Psst. Frangelica, is that you? Oh yes, I'm hovering here on my galactic surfboard. I love flying all over the garden here at Rama's house. Oh, watch now. Oh, she is really having quite the time today. I'm just enjoying here with my friends the mushrooms. They are growing so deliciously on this beautiful stump. Now we can all get together.
Here in the land of the ancient Hemiotep, we are always following the great symbol of Zia into our forefathers' land, where the great and ancient lizard always roams, free from anxiety, stress, and the complications of modern man.
Here I am just traveling down the road, back country road. What do I see in the road up ahead? Oh, there it is. It's a fork in the road.
Of that is in the material. And I think when we see some, we have a psychological pressure to see beyond the surface. And in looking beyond the surface, we want to find out what those energies are. And we interpret or we guess at what these energies are. And that is really a great part of looking at the world in general, but a very important part of looking at sculpture. And what I try to do in my work is to use the surface as a way of indicating what's underneath the surface. And therefore, what I make is not chaotic. I try to have a kind of formal system that is inside the work. With an internal formal construction, I build it up until it has an emotional quality.
Our beautiful friend BALA, the interdimensional artist, he calls himself a galactic glyph artist, as a matter of fact. He is prolific in his drawing and painting and sculptural processes, which involve experiments in many mediums. This particular most recent sculpture, created in 2020, is peculiarly mounted on 3 wheels and therefore a tripodal stance with many extrusions coming off in a very whimsical manner, as this was created by wire-wrapped armature in a very firm way. It's a very solid and balanced piece. And then that armature was taped over, and a type of paper mache with matte acrylic gesso painted over it, and then the nice enamel painting in the black and white. So it is what we might call a soft sculpture, and yet firm enough for standing. It brings to mind the work of Dubuffet. Jean Dubuffet is well known for some of his black and white, abstract, thick and monumental sculptures. And we're just trying to do justice here by really moving around the sculpture so you see the complete flow of all the organic forms. It's quite intricate and bizarre and beautiful. And one could see this potentially as a very large-scale outdoor sculpture, perhaps 60 feet or so in height. It is called The Saint. And I believe that has something to do with this halo-like head and then the rest of the body being a personality. Many forms, characters are seen within this wild and psychedelic sculpture. Jai Srila Prabhupada! Good morning, everyone. My name is BALA, interdimensional galactic glyph artist. I use the term galactic glyphs because my artwork, which I have been channeling for the last 30 years, has come to me from interdimensional realms. And I say that because these are not images from this earthly plane. These are obviously images and forms of another creation. One beautiful aspect of the creative process is the ability, the God-given ability that we all have to formulate something new, which has not been expressed in this creation before. So, in a convoluted way, I am describing interdimensionalism as being that process which transmits imagery of form, color, sound, light into a cohesive organization and presented in this realm so that the viewer experiences something other. Meaning, I have a little booklet here. You can find this on Amazon. It's called Living Light Language, Creation Speaks. That's my artwork on the cover there. These are my hieroglyphic writings and some imagery that is sometimes recognizable, but these are considered downloads of higher dimensional, vibratory, frequency uplifting images that I utilize the term living light language, which I drew from J.J. Hurtak's remarkable book that came out sometime in the 70s called The Keys of Enoch, which anyone who's into metaphysics and understanding the higher dimensional realities and the galactic brotherhood of light and so on, that's a great source book. So just looking around I've got it hanging here in the room. I don't always use recognizable figures, but sometimes I do. So here's a couple of intergalactic women exchanging a symbolic device, maybe a timekeeper. Some masks and some drums. Very native. I use the term ancient future to describe a lot of my artwork. It's like Japanese scrolls, for instance. Or I grew up in the Pacific Northwest of Oregon, so the native Indians have totems. And what I've done is I've taken this abstract glyph-like form and turned them into totems. So what you have here is 4 totem beings in the middle and 2 on either side. And these are what I would consider guardians, and I use the term ancestral guardians, or even from off-world overseers of humanity's progress, whether they're Arcturian or Andromedan or Pleiadian. The imagery definitely has a strong Mayan influence often that people recognize, and that